and Melbourne Knights in their white away kit. And Matt Altona, we have got a bit of a blockbuster on our hands tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very interesting game. Two sides that really there's so much implications about tonight's result. Obviously, the month of May was not pleasant for Melbourne Knights. They didn't pick up any wins in the league, but they did recap the month with a great win over Avondale in the FFA Cup. As for Altona Magic, some mixed form throughout last month. I think they only picked up one win, so both sides are probably going to be looking to get some wins under their belts as they try and look to cement themselves in a final spot for later in the year.
And we have got a special guest joining us for the first couple of minutes. We'll get to him very soon, but let's go through the team news for both sides. For the home side, Altona Magic in goals, number 21, Shane Vidakangas. Number 5, and the captain, Troy Ruthven. Number 6, Johnny Stajewski. Number 7, Daniel Kaczynski. Number 8, Robert Stambolziev. Number 9, Hassan Yala. Number 10, Disan Bosniak. Number 15, Kwabima Bahini. Number 18, Marino Gasparis. Number 20, Sam Mitchinson. And number 22, Dane Milovanic. On the substitute bench, number 13, Davor Trafinov. Number 14, David Trajanowski. Number 16, Yasin Noor. Number 26, Mateo Chipan. And number 40, Rory Curran. The coach, of course, Goran Lozanovsky. And I don't know what your English Croatian is like, Matt, but I'm going to give you the hand of calling out the Melbourne Knights team list.
I'll do the best I can. So, number 7, Gian Albano. Number 16, Mohamed Awad. Number 5, Aidan Bryce. Number 1, Hujay Kakurun. Number 10, Marijan Sitrovic. Number 19, Anthony Duzel. Number 27, Joseph Franjic. Number 13, Ivan Grigic. Number 8, Caleb Mikulic. Number 12, Corey Sewell. Number 9, Hamish Watson. And to round off the bench for the Altona Magic, number 20, Jordan Gifkins. Number 3, Nicholas Glavan. Number 25, Attila Offley. Number 15, Adrian Tardio. And number 4, Kelvin Whitney, as I throw it back to Bryce.
Our referee tonight is Victorian Referee of the Year for last season, Chris Hope. And we're joined in the commentary box for a couple of minutes by a suspended Altona Magic centre-back, Liram Marzia. Liram, good evening.
Thanks for having me, boys.
First time up here in the commentary box. Good view, hey?
Yeah, it is a good view. I think I'm too tall for this scaffold, though, but it's all right.
Now, I'm sure you'd much prefer to be out in the paddock tonight. Obviously, I copped the 5th yellow card last week, so you missed the game.
Yeah, that's right. Just been a bit maybe too rough this season, but you got to do what you got to do, and I'll pay the suspension and hopefully be back next week and back in the starting lineup. Chris
Hope gets us underway here. Melbourne Knights on the attack to start with. Now, tell us a bit about some of your new signings. We've got a few on show tonight here for the Magic.
Yeah, well, everyone already knows where we're sort of out with the injuries, suspensions, and that sort of stuff. But yeah, we've put some good names forward. Obviously, with Dane coming in centre back, we've got Hassan as well on the wing, and we've got obviously Cobby and a few other boys in there. But yeah, so far we've been pretty good, and they've been pretty impactful in the last few games they played for us.
And you also got a few injuries as well, particularly most noted your keeper, Daniel Collinson.
Yeah, obviously Colo did do his knee, which is pretty bad for us. But obviously Shane's coming in, done the job, and we believe in him as well. So it'll be good to see what Shane's got for us as well in the coming weeks.
Mitchinson coming on the left-hand side here, has Kaczynski in front, just looking for a bit of space. Finds Kaczynski, and the Knights get the quick transition, and Hamish Watson's got some time in the middle and plays it central. The Knights do have time on the ball here. Looking central, looking for Watson again, but can't quite find the mark. How have you personally found a step up from obviously State League 1 to NPL 2 to the top league this year?
It's definitely a massive difference. State 1's a bit more physical, and definitely in the NPL there's a bit more play involved and a bit more strategic sort of ways of playing the game. But no, it's been good. Been with Loza as well for 3 years, so he's been supporting me a lot and sort of showing me the ways. But no, it's been good.
Yeah, speaking of your coach, how have you guys sort of looked at tonight's game? Because you did go down in a Friday night blockbuster to the Knights away in round 2. 4-3 they got you on that night. What have you guys sort of tweaked from that night or recent weeks?
We've definitely just been just going over what we need to sort of shut down and what we need to do to penetrate them in a way. But no, we don't really go in a game just focusing on players or whatever. We do our own thing, and we just practice what we got to do in training, and we'll see how it goes.
There's a chance here for Hamish Watson. Cuts in on the inside of Ruthven, who does go down, and Watson has a strike across the face of goal, and it goes out for a goal kick. An early chance there for the Melbourne Knights. One man that you would have been marking tonight if you were playing.
Yeah, we've definitely talking about Hamish Watson as well. Obviously, what he's like, he's got a lot of presence up front. A bit of a target man for Knights as well, but we'll be able to sort of shut him down tonight, so we'll be all right.
And it's been no secret the last couple of weeks the Knights have had a couple of changes, notably with their coach leaving the club and a couple of players, one of their stalwarts in Uzcock going up to Sydney. Is that an advantage for you guys tonight?
Maybe a depleted a Knights team there, but like I said, we don't really look at other teams. We go into the game looking at ourselves and our team, and we go from there.
And finally, before we let you go, you had an FFA Cup victory over Eltham Redbacks the other night, 3-0 on a very slippery AstroTurf. The Knights defeated Avondale in a bit of a blockbuster at Knights Stadium in extra time. How do you think that will affect the game tonight?
I definitely think both teams have a bad challenge there, but no, I do think both teams coming off a big win. Obviously, Knights taking down Avondale in extra time in 2-1, which is a good result for them, but us as well in the 3-0 win with Haas scoring a hat-trick, which is good for his confidence and the confidence of the team, so no, it's good. Yeah,
the FA Cup draw is done on Monday at 1 o'clock, so make sure you join the live stream to see who both Melbourne Knights and Altona Magic will be facing. Liram, thanks for joining us on the broadcast, and we'll let you get back down, and good luck tonight.
Cheers, thanks boys.
There we go, suspended centre-back for the Altona Magic, Liram Marzia, and tell you what, Liram's had a pretty good start to the NPL campaign for a youngster.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those players that Altona Magic have kept on to, like you said, throughout coming up from State League 1 to State League 2 to NPL 1. It's quite a big leap going up through, pretty much 3 leagues. So good on him for being able to adjust this level and maintain his spot in the Altona Magic squad.
I'm just going to keep an eye on this injury here because it was a pretty solid challenge, as Liram alluded to the fact. We've just got the captain, Troy Ruth, and having a chat to referee Chris Hope. Just seeing what they can do, but obviously Chris Hope has dealt with it already, and Sam Mitchelson is down with the 2 physios receiving some treatment. Looking at the ladder tonight, Matt, it's a big game for both sides because a win could propel either into 4th spot. The Knights currently sitting in 6th on 23 points, the Magic in 7th on 22, and this basically leads to a Saturday night blockbuster at Paisley Park.
Yeah, definitely. The ladders are tightened up in the last couple of weeks, especially in the last month or so. And even though South Melbourne probably did get blown out of the water, though, last night, they're still within 3 points of either of these two sides. So, look, a win would go a long way to cementing their place in the finals position for another week. And
the new signing, Yalla, has a chance at the back post, but Kakaroon it in the white sticks for the Knights does quite well to put it out for a corner kick to the Altona Magic. A very chilly night here tonight. Last night we were at Dandenong City for the big clash between Dandy City and South Melbourne, which did result in a 3-0 win to Dandenong City. Of course, a list of ex-A League talent coming in and showing that they're worth every cent that they're being, I suppose, given for the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, sure. If you're a Dandenong City supporter, you would be more than happy with the result last night and the performance of the new players.
Chakarun does well to clear that line, and it goes out to Yalla on the edge of the box. Has a strike, and it goes across the face. And referee Chris Hope signals a goal kick. What have you made of the new signing from Sydney? He's come from the NPL 2 at Rothermere Lions. It's not the top league in Sydney, but during the week scored all 3 goals for the Magic in a FFA Cup game. And last week at Green Gully, got on the score sheet too as a substitute, which led to a Magic win away from home at Green Gully.
Well, I think these interstate signings are always interesting. We saw with Valentino Uel earlier in the year, coming across from South Australia, didn't score many goals in South Australia, but then really just lit the league alight. So it looks like Yalla thus far has been scoring a lot of goals for the Altona Magic. So these interstate signings are always interesting because you never know how they're going to adapt to playing in Victoria. Sometimes they go well, sometimes they go not so well. But it looks like Altona Magic have found themselves, I think, a suitable replacement in the wake of Mikael Hammond's injury.
Yeah, well, the rumours are that he's on the way back to Holland to receive treatment. John McShane, their striker from last couple of years, is on the training party. Actually, saw him warming up tonight. Thought he was going to be in the matchday squad, but it was just staying to us a couple of weeks away still. So John McShane will be a welcome addition to the Magic squad. They are definitely missing the presence of a big target man up top. Kaczynski's doing well, but he's more of a winger, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think Altona Magic, and you've probably seen with the results, when they have that presence up front, they look a lot more dangerous, and probably you could probably put down their poor results in the last month or so, probably down to the fact that they did lose Mikael Hemmen, who was just such a big outlet for them up front. So John McShea is going to give them that outlet again. We saw how destructive he was in NPL 2 last season, and I've got no doubt that he's going to bring that across to NPL 1 this year.
And that's one thing that the Magic have done since going up to the top grade. They have kept a core nucleus of that squad that did win the championship in NPL 2 last year, being led by Troy Rutten this year. So it's worked for him, and obviously when the league, you go up a league, I suppose, you're always one of the favourites to go straight back down, but I don't think the Magic's one of those sides at the moment.
Yeah, well, and let's be honest, Bryce, the players that they recruited last season were some of the best players in NPL 1, so there's probably no doubt that they've done so well. I mean, the signings of players like Ruffton and obviously I think Ben Lifton also too were just huge signings to play at a level of NPL 2. So they were smart signings because they were able to keep them for their NPL 1 campaign, and they've adjusted very quickly to life back at NPL 1 level.
Well, unfortunately for Benny Lifton, he was actually going to be signed in the transfer window, but succumbed to another knee injury, so that will see him out for the rest of this campaign, unfortunately, and we wish Ben all the very best. No doubt floating around Paisley Park tonight, coaching under 18s here at the Magic this year, actually.
Well, that's good that they're keeping him involved, and hopefully maybe next season might see him kit up for the Altona Magic.
Knights on the ball here, happy to keep it. They just play it back. Just looking for an option. They find it now. Ruthven is in the middle with some time. Plays in Bosniak. Got in a score sheet last weekend at Green Gully with a beautiful strike to help his side get a win away from home to start the second round of fixtures in the NPL Victoria. Don't forget to, if you are watching either via Facebook or the YouTube platforms, you can get your comments coming through. Happy to interact with you throughout the night. The best comments will be read out on the live stream. No doubt enjoying it in the comfort of your warmth, which it isn't too warm here at the moment at Paisley Park.
Yeah, definitely not, as Altona Magic come down this right-hand side, but it's a cold one here at Paisley Park.
Yella. Bit of trickery against Corey Sewell. Whips it to the back post. But it goes out for a goal kick. His first taste of Paisley Park tonight. It's not the best surface floating around the league, and it'll be interesting to see how someone like him that's quite good with the ball at his feet and quite tricky adapts to this surface.
Yeah, Paisley Park, it's always been a difficult surface, but it's probably in better condition than it probably was last time Altona Magic were playing top flight of Victorian football. But if there's one thing people should know about Paisley Park, it is a formidable place to come play. So you'd expect Altona Magic to fancy themselves tonight here in his home fixture.
Bosniak just chasing down the ball and does well to win his side. A throw-in on the near touchline here towards the corner flag. Played in. Stambolziev just loses out in the corner there. Rutten holding up play and inviting in Sammy Mitchinson, and does well to turn it over and keep the Knights in their defensive half. Sewell plays it down the line. Got some time here. They can switch the ball. They've got some space on the left-hand side. Albano. Go one-on-one with Sam Mitchinson. Gets Ruthven through the legs. Slips in a nice ball there. Do well to keep it in the Knights. Doesn't quite take it out yet. The ball's whipped in. Finds a penalty spot. Looking for Hamish Watson. Can't get on the end of it. Yella tracking back with his defensive duties. Knights with a lot of numbers in a defensive box, and Vitakangis comes out. All 6'7" of Shane Vitakangis collects that on the penalty spot. Looks for Kaczynski. Strong battle there from Franic. And Stojevski looks to bring it down, but just can't quite get his lines right with Ruthven, and Ruthven goes in with a strong challenge on Algano. Just questioning the assistant referee on the near touchline. Good time to bring up too. It is respect around Matt Saltana, as we mentioned last night at Dandenong. Respecting all parts of the game, particularly the officials this weekend.
Yeah, obviously a good initiative from FFE to continue to have these rounds with different themes, and I think a respect round for officials is well due.
Yeah, without officials we haven't got a game, so we definitely appreciate their involvement in the NPL Victoria as the Magic turn it over in the centre of the park. And Gaspar just looks for the option long. Ruthven's got to be careful here, and lack of communication. He just gets caught out in the middle there. Sewell looking for Watson. Can't quite find him. Yalla finds Ruthven. Looking for the line for Stambolziev. And Corey still does well there to win his side, a corner. It's been one thing, the welcome addition, having Stambolziev back after his injury. He was out for about 2 months, and his involvement in the starting 11 on the matchday squad has definitely propelled him to these positive results that we've seen the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think it gives them more options in their front line. If there's one thing about NPL and football that is very important is scoring goals. As you've probably seen throughout the season, the amount of goals that do get scored at this level. So having those options off the bench is really important, and I think it's good to have Robert Stambolziev back for the Altona Magic.
And Ruthven does well in the middle, looks for Kaczynski, does well to find him. The ball just slows down on the heavy pitch at Paisley Park. Just tries to lock it in and does go down, but a fair challenge there from the Knights. And they'll be able to break away. And unfortunately, just turned the ball over to Sam Mitchinson. If they were watching the FFA Cup stream, Goran Loznovsky, or watching the replay of it, I should say, from Avondale, they were going to want to keep an eye on Awad because he was quite dangerous the other night, and especially in extra time going forward.
Yeah, he's been a dangerous player for the Melbourne Knights throughout the season, and he's kind of cemented a place in this starting 11, which is good for him. But he is a quite exciting player to watch down that right-hand side, and he's got great feet. So I think on the break you've got to be really careful with him because he's very dangerous in that final third.
And just a little bit of afters here with the new signing, Dana Milanovic. Just the Knights players questioning why he wasn't walking away. Not too much in it there, and the Altona Magic faithful underneath the grandstand roof there, just letting him know to get up and let's get the game underway. I think the cool temperatures here might lead to a few heated exchanges across the 90 minutes, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. I think Dane Milanovic is a great pickup for Altona Magic at the centre-back position. Obviously, played briefly for the Green Gully last season, but didn't play a lot of football. I think he had quite a few injuries, and I think he finished up at Preston Lions in the end in State League 1. So a good pickup in that centre-back role to give them a bit more depth for Altona Magic. So some shrewd transfers happening in this transfer window, I think.
Yeah, and the transfer window does shut next week as well, so clubs looking to get a few last-minute signings. No doubt both of these sides playing tonight will be involved in the last couple of days of that. So see Mitchelson on the ball, working with Zajewski. Playing more central tonight with the new signing in Milanovic. It's been a bit of a journeyman, actually, in the NPL Victoria in previous seasons. Remember him at South Melbourne, had a stint there. As well, as you said, Green Gully last year too.
Yeah, he's had quite a few stints. I think he's previously played for Oakley Cannons. I think he also had a very short stint at Ballarat Red Devils when the NPL first started, and Ballarat found themselves in NPL 1 somehow, and he was one of their players, but also played across Southeast Asia. So he's had a bit of a journeyman career, but I'm sure he's enjoyed every moment of it.
Probably got one hell of a wardrobe to go with that. I mean that in the most polite way possible as well. He is a decent player and a good signing for the Magic. There are some other games going on tonight as well. We've currently got Heidelberg and Green Gully locked at 0-0 in the 13th minute at Olympic Village, and an early goal to Avondale at Port Melbourne. So they go up Riccobini, a third-minute strike there. And there is a game starting at 7 p.m. Dandenong Thunder taking on Kingston City in what many are calling is a relegation battle even at this stage of the season.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a do-or-die situation for Kingston. They really need to pick up some points in that game, or else their season's going to become a whole lot more difficult. So that's a really important game at 7 o'clock down at Dandenong.
Ball's played in. Kaczynski does well. Stambolziev just heads it back to Ruthven. Plays back into Milanovic. Looks a long option, looking for Dusan Bosniak. Trying to get on the goal side of French, and does well to get a foot in there. Just no numbers in the box for the Magic. Watson. Zajewski does well there. Bosniak looking to keep it short, finds Stambolziev. He'll play it into Kaczynski. Stambolziev plays it short again, and Kaczynski does go down. Chris Hope waves it away. And Awad will break down this right-hand side and play a great ball in the middle. They've got some space here. Algano in the middle. It's going forward. Ball's played across, and a block there by Boahen allows Melbourne Knights the chance to have an attacking corner.
Yeah, and I think that's Altona Magic where they're probably most dangerous is on those counter-attacks, trying to break quickly when you've got the likes of Jan Albano, Muhammad Alwed and Hamish Watson there. So I think Altona Magic, they're probably going to look to try and control this game and dominate possession, but they've really got to be careful about Melbourne Knights on the counter-attack because that's probably when they're most dangerous.
Corey Sewell over the corner. Playing in a different left-back position. We have seen him now the last couple of weeks. Normally a centre-back, but he whips the ball in, looking for Hamish Watson, and it goes out for a goal kick. What have you made of Corey Sewell's move? Obviously at Bulleen Lions last year, they got relegated, and he made the move across to Knights Stadium.
Yeah, I think it's always difficult to play your best football on a side that's, battling relegation pretty much from start to finish. So I think a move to Melbourne Knights gives him the opportunity to kind of show a little bit more of what he's got. And I think he's been a bit of a plug for Melbourne Knights. He's kind of played in a few positions. I think I've seen him play right back, left back, and centre back. So he seems to be a bit of a utility there for the Melbourne Knights.
Stojevski just forces it long, and Kakaroon will let it go out for a goal kick. Plenty of comments coming through the Facebook live stream. A lot of comments talking about the pitch. Good to see it's in great condition as always. I think there's a bit of sarcasm in that one there, Matt. Also, let us know who you're following tonight. What side are you supporting? Is it the Melbourne Knights away from home, like Matthew, or the home side in Altona Magic? And keep your comments coming through, and we will visit them across the evening here at Paisley Park. Milanovic in the middle. Corey Sewell. Knights doing well just to keep it here. They've got a chance to break forward here. Watson looking for it in the middle, and the strike's off. And Sam Mitchelson does well to deal with it and put it out for another Melbourne Knights corner.
I tell you what, Gian Albano is really lighting up this Altona Magic defence. A couple of times he's kind of turned inside and out and made a couple of plays along the way. He's looking quite lively in the early stages of this contest as Melbourne Knights have a corner to be whipped in here.
And it's a wide on the corner. Whip it in with the left foot. And Sam Mitchelson's happy just to reset the ball up to halfway and give his defence a chance to get up. Awad brings it back. Not too much moving for the Knights here. Now Awad decides to go forward. Looking for Watson. And Bosniak fights off Awad again and sends Mitchelson down the left-hand side here, just in front of the Melbourne Knights away bench. And Kaczynski shields off his defender. And Franic is happy just to pop it out and let his side get back. Stambolziev tries to dink it in. Ruthenreid gathers in the middle and brings it back to Stojevski. Searching ball from Milanovic. Will find Stambolziev, and it goes out for a goal kick. It's one thing that we haven't seen the Altona Magic do too many times in the previous weeks is that long searching ball. They've been decided to look to play through Ruthven and McGarry, who is out for 4 weeks at the moment. So maybe having one of those midfield options out has changed the style of play.
Potentially, maybe they've seen something in that Melbourne Knights backline that they think they can target, because it very much seems that these long diagonal balls and these long balls really into this left-hand channel here, really trying to seemingly get the ball into Kaczynski. So it seems like Altona Magic have got a bit of a plan here for the Melbourne Knights, and they might have seen something midweek. Yeah,
really targeting Ivan Grigic's side, and now that they switch it over to Corey Sewell's side, and Hassan Yalla locks it in the corner, and Corey Sewell just knocks it out for a Magic throw-in. Not a bad crowd in attendance tonight for a Saturday night here. Pretty standard, maybe 300 to 400.
Yeah, probably around 300 to 400. It's a nice Saturday night game, although you have to say there is quite a few games on Saturday night, so probably expect the crowds kind of to be stretched, as Kakaroon did well to parry that ball away, as Mohammed Arwid's clearance is not enough.
And Ruthven deals with it in the middle and just resets through Stajewski. Plays across to the new signing, Milanovic, and Ruthven will just keep it across the back line with Stajewski. And they'll play it long again, looking for Mitchinson, who just lets it run and unfortunately can't find his bearings for the white line. It goes out for a throw-in. As you might be able to tell through our live stream, we've got a great vantage point here in the scaffolding tower. Currently seeing a nice blue pole. We welcome out to the broadcast at Paisley Park as the ball's whipped along by the Melbourne Knights. Gives them a chance to reset. And one thing that I've noticed is that it's not too much of a different setup since the Knights have lost their coach a couple of weeks back, and it's kind of things as usual.
Yeah, well, I think probably the absence of having a coach has probably done that to them. They've probably just gone a bit of business as usual, to be honest. It'll be interesting to see, though, what happens down at Summers Street in the coaching position, because you'd probably imagine Sikovic...
As Hassan Yella has a chance, and he gets it on the inside, and it goes to the right-hand side of the goals, and Chris Hope awards a goal kick. A very good chance there for the new signing from the Altona Magic to add to his account of 5 for the year.
Yeah, Hassan Yella showing some pace there and nearly putting that ball in the back of the net past Kakurun there, who came out charging and did enough really to force the shot that ultimately didn't go in. But promising signs there for Altona Magic and some warning shots there if you're Melbourne Knights to be careful of those transition moments. And they do have pace, Altona Magic, in that front line, so you've got to be careful when you give the ball away so easily like they just did.
Yeah, the new signings have definitely added a bit of speed up top in the front three. So Knights go on the attack here. A nice back heel. And Bahini deals well with it on the right side. Does give a chance there for the Knights to open up. And switch sides. Awad. Plays back to Grigic. We'll play it back to Franich. Kakaroon. The Knights have the chance to go forward down here on the left-hand side. Korasul nice and high this time and slips in to an attacking option here. Looking to whip the ball in. And referee Chris Hope has just seen something here with both players staying down. I'm not too sure who he's awarded this to because he hasn't actually given a signal apart from a whistle.
Yeah, it looked like both players kind of got tangled in legs there, and it looks like they're going to wave on the physios for some treatment as the Melbourne Knights player. I'm not too sure who it is, but...
Albano, by the looks of it, and Bahini.
Yeah, Albano seemed to be in some discomfort, so does Bahimi. I mean, Kobe Bahimi, we know about him. He's had quite a few injuries throughout his career, obviously previously played youth football for Australia, so as they both get treatment, they both look like they're in some discomfort there.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed for both coaching benches that there's no early change required here in the first half. Plenty of comments coming through. Joe saying that he loves the scaffolding here at Paisley Park. It is a very sturdy one because we've had a couple of windy nights here in the early stages of the season.
Yeah, I can confirm it is a sturdy scaffold, and it is pretty safe, so not too worried about that right now.
Let's talk about the FFA Cup. Of course, both these sides were involved in fixtures during the week, and I suppose more notably, Melbourne Knights defeated the previously undefeated for 2019 Avondale in a extra time thriller at Knights Stadium in some very wet conditions.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I love about the FFA Cup is the stories it can potentially tell depending on which teams get there. And I think these are two sides that have great stories. Obviously, Melbourne Knights being obviously previously playing in the NSL and having some great players play within the past. Obviously, previously winning the NSL. I think it would be a great story to see them make the national stage. And obviously, Altona Magic, who pretty much, let's be honest, back from the death really. Obviously won back-to-back VPL championships in 2008 and in 2009, but succumbed to some woes and fell down the football pyramid, but have built themselves back up in recent years. So I think that would be another great story if they made the national stage also.
And you might recall too, last year, round 7, Altona Magic versus Northcote here for the final spot in under 32, and some say that the Altona Magic choked that night, and they were fancied even over their NPL 1 opponent at the time who was quite struggling for a bit of form and results. In Northcote, they were up to the challenge and earned their spot in under 32 and, yeah, ended up making a trip to Devonport.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure that trip to Devonport would have been nice for the players. I know one thing that the players do love about the FFA Cup is that they wait for the draw and they hope for an away game.
Apologies, Devonport came to Bulleen. It was at Bulleen.
Yeah, so I think one thing that's in the FA Cup that players like is those away trips. So look, for Altona Magic, I'm sure, and for Melbourne Knights, I'm sure they both want to get into that national stage. And for Altona, I think they want to avenge the near miss that was last season.
Well, I do know around the dressing room for the Altona Magic, they're looking at Queensland as a destination during winter, and you can't blame them with a few Queenslanders in the team here, like many Queenslanders floating around the NPL Victoria. So I suppose any team from Melbourne that does qualify is looking to head up towards the Sunshine State for a night away against Queensland opposition, who are also in their final stages too in the next couple of weeks of qualification. So we'll keep an eye on that with interest as the ball comes in wide here to Mitchinson, who strikes the ball, and Kakaroon does well. Just a little slight fumble, but no real threat coming through from Kaczynski there. Allows him to regather the ball at ease. Throws it out. Looking to use this left-hand side. Milanovic puts the ball straight back in, looking for Yalla. The right option at the time, just couldn't quite find his target. But Milanovic does well to regather and slip Ruthven in, who will play it out wide to the space of Sam Mitchinson, who has plenty of time to go forward here. Just no support in front, so he's forced to play it back to Sajewski, who looks for Kaczynski. Got some timer in the middle. Finds Mitchinson, who just is forced to play it wide. And Sajewski just can't quite find a target in front of him. Allows for Grigic to have a throw in on his near touchline, right behind the blue pole once again. Just looking for an option in front. Sneaks in a couple of metres too on the sideline, and Mitchinson just puts the ball into the chest of the fourth official, who brushed it away like it's a gym session. Franic. Happy to play it short. Just looking to open the field up. I'll keep it again through Algano. Awad can't quite find that ball there. Richardson plays it back. A bit of pressure from Hamish Watson. Forced to play it long, Vidakangas. And Grigic ends up with it on the halfway line. Awad. Turns Mitchinson, does well to beat his man. Has room to go inside. Runs across the face of Ruthven. Finds Watson, who can't quite bring it into his body and lock it in. It gives a chance for Ruthven to play the ball into Yella, who's blocked by Corey Sewell. But Chris Hope waves it away as fair play. It is respect round 2. Reminder, all our NPL Victoria games to the hashtag respect round. Get it trending on our social media and, of course, all the Facebook and YouTube platforms as well. Don't forget, you can keep your comments coming through our Facebook and YouTube platforms. Wherever you're watching from tonight, let us know where you're watching from. Plenty of numbers coming through on a Saturday night. If you can't make it down to the ground, no doubt you're watching it on the live stream through the NPL Victoria Facebook page. The Knights have a chance to break here. Awad. He's got room on the right-hand side here. Only Mitchinson to beat. Does well. Finds Watson, who has his shot blocked by the new signing in Milanovic. Mitchinson just slips there in the corner. It is a bit of a heavy pitch tonight at Paisley Park. The chance to go wide. Knights happy just to keep the ball. And as we say that, they turn the ball over, but do regather straight away. And Awad's on the edge of the box. He's on his left foot. He's got room to shoot. Does so, and Vidakangas up to the task. And some good stuff here by the Knights, just looking to be patient and keep the ball.
Yeah, I think one thing that's been good for the Melbourne Knights this season is their efficiency in front of goal. And they're just very efficient, that final third. Everything's very clean, and they seem to find feet quite comfortably. And you just saw there, though, really playing around the Altona Magic quite easily in that final third. So, look, Melbourne Knights are very dangerous if you let them play. So, some promising signs for Knights.
Yeah, looking to get Anthony Giselle on the ball a bit more, and whenever he's in the ball, he's a dangerous player for the Knights, especially with the loss of Uzkok in a defensive mid-roll. Stojevski plays Ruth and just sitting a bit deeper. Spreads the pass wide to Milanovic. He's got some time. He's got Ruth in there short as well, but does go all the way back to Shane Vitakangis. In goals tonight as a replacement for the injured Daniel Collinson. Of course, reports are it's a medial injury. And Daniel will be joining us at the start of the second half as well for a bit of a chat. So we'll get an update from himself, where he's at with his injury and how long he might be out for. As we see a turnover here from the Magic. And Dane does well to block the pass. Now looking for Kaczynski, who brings it down and has got a chance to whip the ball across, and Franich just decides to boot it into field number 23 at Paisley Park over the bushes.
Yeah, that ball's gone. We've lost that ball now. So, yeah, clearance there from Melbourne Knights, and we've lost the football. So, corner here for the Altona Magic with Daniel Kaczynski. Did well there to turn his counterpart and try and get that shot off. You just see how dangerous he is when he gets going in that final third.
Yeah, the Magic, when you looked at their start of the season 11 that they had, they've definitely had a bit of a personnel turnover due to injuries and whatnot, but they do seem to deal quite well. There was a few questions around their squad depth this year, and they seem to put a strong 11 out week in, week out, as Yalla, the new signing, has a chance there on the head, but it's cleared by the Knights. And Rutherford ends up in the ball in the middle, but Watson does well to get him on the blind side. And I know I'll have a chance to come forward with it, but Bosniak's tracking and goes all the way back to Vitakangis, but there is a foul spotted from Chris Hope, the referee, on Dusan Bosniak. He's one player that's got a bit of criticism from the Altona Magic fans the last couple of months, but the last week or two seem to hit a bit of form.
Yeah, look, I think whenever whenever you move into a new team, sometimes it's easy to settle in and sometimes it's difficult. And I think probably Dusan Bosniak has probably found it harder than probably he would have liked to have settled into this Altona Magic side, and probably hasn't helped that Altona have had a lot of injuries and a lot of changes.
And a chance for Kaczynski, and he's flagged offside, but some very positive play there from that man that we are talking about, Dusan Bosniak, the former Oakley Cannons player that's made the switch over. We'll get back to you, Matt.
Yeah, just back to what I was saying. I think it's hard to settle into a team when the team has so many changes, and one thing Altona have had is a lot of injuries and a lot of personnel turnover in the last probably 6 to 12 months, and it's probably not what they would have liked to have been doing, but it's happened nonetheless. So a little bit difficult for players like Dusan Bosniak to settle in, but I think as the season goes on, as we get closer to the finals, and obviously having a guess here that Altona might make the finals, I'm sure we'll see him in fine form towards the end of the year.
He's an interesting one because they were playing a very different formation at Oakley last year, with him heavily involved as the main man and coming to a side with other bigger name players in the NPL Victoria. It's been a case where he has to really find his feet and adjust to life at the new club. Yeah,
I think it can be a little bit difficult, especially I think when he was at Oakley last season. I mean, he dragged them all the way through to the semi-finals and all the way to that penalty shootout against Heidelberg in the semi-final. So a bit of a different role for him here at Altona Magic, where he doesn't have to, where he can rely on other players more. When you've got the likes of Troy Ruffton and Kaczynski and Yalla and previously Hemmen and Gasparis and the likes of them. So probably doesn't have to play such a huge role in the team and can really just do the role of what a number 10 really should do.
Gasparis, who's happy to keep the ball at the back there with Vitakangis, who's forced to go long, looking for Bosniak but can't quite find him, only the head of Franich, wearing the captain's armband tonight. Mitchinson plays in Yalla, does well. He just locks it in, gives him a chance to take on Algano. Milanovic. Not too much movement in front for the Magic, but he does find Ruthven in the pocket. Plays it back to the centre-back in Stojevski, who can open it up on the left-hand side through Mitchinson here. Just the chance to keep a bit high, but they got nothing going, so they've got to go forward. And the second run from Yalla doesn't come to any avail as well. Watson, the pass blocked by Ruthven, who does well just to settle it back to Stojevski. And I'll go all the way back to Vitakangis, who plays it long, looking for Stambolziev. Finds Kaczynski. They work well together. He's got yellow on his left, but Stambolziev has a shot from about 30 yards out. Not the right option there, in my opinion, Matt.
Yeah, he had yellow to his left-hand side. He could have slotted him in behind there, but I think Altona Magic just getting a little bit too desperate in front of goal there, trying to overforce the issue a little bit too much. Just need to be a little bit more patient in that final third and trust the players that you've got there.
Yeah, they are showing some signs of frustration, even in these stages of the first half. Don't forget, you can keep your comments coming through our Facebook Live platform or the YouTube channel as well. However you're watching, wherever you're watching from, let us know. We will visit the best comments throughout the night on the Facebook live stream. Franic. Shouts of keep it from the coaching bench of the Melbourne Knights. That's what they're happy to do. And Franic plays into the middle. Does well, and Hamish Watson just can't quite lock it in and turns the ball over in the middle of the park to Ruthven, who slots in a beautiful ball, looking for Kaczynski on the right-hand side, and the players take a slip. The assistant referee takes a slip on the far side, and then after all that, we end up with a Altona Magic free kick in a dangerous position.
Yeah, dangerous position here for Altona Magic. We just saw before with Melbourne Knights trying to build up there, just not working hard enough to find the spaces and get the superior positioning to kind of play out past that block that Altona Magic is setting up. They're kind of just standing and watching. Just need a little bit more movement when they're back four or when Duzel drops and gets on the ball to progress further up the field, I think.
It's a very cagey affair, as we did mention at the start of the broadcast. These two teams separated by only 1 point. And there's a lot on the line tonight. The side that does win will more than likely go into fourth spot on the NPL Victoria ladder. As we see Robert Stambolziev over this free kick. It's got Gasparis just tucking on the 18-yard, and Stambo will whip it in, but can't get it past the first post. And we'll give a chance for Awad to break here. Has got Algano in front of him, quite some distance, and he just has to hold it up and then force the ball across, looking for Sewell, who's on the other side of the field in an attacking position. Gives him the chance to whip it into the penalty spot. And Algano looking to get the ball, but just can't quite find him. Does find a coach in the middle of the park. Ball's whipped in. And Stajewski does well to deal with it there. We'll also give the chance for Corey Sewell to get back onto his left-hand side after venturing forward to try and add some numbers in the Knights attacking play. Awad breaks the Magic defence, whips the ball and looks to the penalty spot, and no issues there for Shane Vidakangas in the Magic goals. Finds Ruthen with lots of space in the middle here. He's got room to go forward and looks for the ball, puts in Stambolziev with a great ball. Has a chance to lock it in, goes one-on-one with Corey Sewell. Finds the byline, whips in, but can't find Kaczynski in the middle. And Dusan Bosek has a shot from about 20 yards out, but can only find the hands of Kakaruan in the Melbourne Knights goal. Look, for quite a cagey affair, mate. At least there's some chances opening up as we get into the later stages of the first half.
Yeah, a bit of a cagey affair, a bit of a strange feeling though here around Paisley Park. I'm not sure if maybe those midweek FFA Cup games has zapped a bit of energy out of the players, but it just seems like a very bit of a casual game out here right now. It doesn't seem like either side is really playing with overly too much intensity.
Well, by all reports from what we've heard here tonight at the ground, they played on AstroTurf. The Altona Magic did get a 3-0 win over Eltham Redbacks on Tuesday night, but from what we've been told, it was a lot closer than what the scoreline suggested. There is a few sore bodies out there from playing on the different surface, which, to be fair, you'd probably take AstroTurf over Paisley Park.
Yeah, you probably would, and I'm assuming the extra time for the Melbourne Knights is also probably affecting their energies.
And the ball played out there from Ruthven just finds Yalla in an offside position. As we creep ever so close to the 45th minute here. And to be fair, the field has actually improved as we've hit the winter months. There's more of a green tinge to it. There is still some bare patches in certain areas, but it's holding up quite well for this time of year.
I've seen it in a lot worse condition, I can tell you that right now. But look, it's in okay condition, and I'm sure Altona Magic will have probably see that they need to improve the Paisley Park surface as the years go on if they want to really probably assert themselves as the type of team that they're trying to be here in NPL 1.
And Mitchelson does well to block it here, and he's got Yalla in front of him, who will break, and he'll go central. Find Gasparis, who's got some time. Looks for Dusan Bozak, who will play in the ball to Kaczynski, who beats Franic. Franic does well to close him back down on the edge of the 18 and hold him up. But Kaczynski does keep locking in and finds him on the byline, whips it across, and a great result there for the Altona Magic. Something out of nothing, and it gives them a chance to get one on the score sheet from a corner position.
Yeah, good header away there for the Melbourne Knights. I think it was number, I was trying to get the number, I think it might have been Aiden Bryce who ended up headering that one away here. But we saw a late goal in the contest last night from a set piece. I wonder if we're going to see a late goal here as we head to half-time from the Altona Magic.
We did, and just an update on that match last night too. You might have seen around the 20th minute, Adrian Lair, one of the star signings for Dandenong City, going down in what was quite a dubious decision. It wasn't awarded as the corner is put into the near post and cleared from Hamish Watson. But reports coming out today that he was taken to Dandenong Hospital, as both Matt and I said last night, and Ruthven whips the ball in. Finds ahead of Franic, Corey Sewell there as well. And Gasparis has some time on the edge here and just whips it over the post, and will go out for a goal kick. Adrian Lair, reports coming out that he's received 23 stitches behind the ear at Dandenong Hospital last night, and what was a very nasty challenge. And yeah, a lot of people asking why it wasn't a send-off.
Yeah, look, I thought Billy Constantinides probably should have been sent off for that shove in the back that obviously resulted in Demir Salchin's boot connecting with Adrian.
Not even a yellow card too, and he was on a yellow card, so that was the other argument of the situation too.
Yeah, I think Billy Constantinides was a lucky man to stay on the field, but obviously we wish Adrian Lair all the best and a speedy recovery, and hope to see him out there soon. But I could have probably imagined he's not going to be out there for a couple of weeks, given the amount of stitches he's going to have.
Yeah, and it was just from where we were in the commentary box last night, just what he added to that back line. A lot of people questioning he hadn't played for a few years, but the experience that he had out there, just talking to the young boys in front of him, and it was great to see if you're a Dandenong City fan.
Yeah, definitely. All 33 years of experience, as I found out last time. I thought he was a little bit younger than 33.
I thought he was older, so we found the halfway median point.
Yeah, definitely. We found the halfway point, but I think he'll add a lot of experience when he comes back for the for Dandenong City.
See the assistant referee put up 3 minutes of extra time. Gasparis looking to find Milanovic, but just can't quite find him. And we'll give Kakaroon a chance to reset from the back with a goal kick. Both sides just seem quite happy to see this out to the half-time break. Locked at 0-0. Chances for both sides. Quite a cagey affair here tonight. Aiden Bryce does well. Bahini just looking to slot in Stambolziev. Corey Sewell on the throw. Whips it in. Nothing doing there from Chris Hope. And Milanovic spreads the ball to Sammy Mitchelson, who's got some time and just pulls out of the challenge. And Mitchelson goes in again. And Chris Hope this time says that's a free kick in favour of the Melbourne Knights and Algarno. Franic over the ball. They whip it in, looking for the 18-yard box and Hamish Watson. And Ruthven's happy just to get it out, and that will bring the first half to a close. Altona Magic sitting on no goals, the same with Melbourne Knights. And Matt Sultana, before we go to the halftime break, your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, a bit of a tame first half. Both sides had a couple of chances, but I think both sides are probably feeling the effects of those midweek FA Cup games. But a big second half to come. Yep,
and speaking of the second half, we'll be back in about 15 minutes, and we'll be joined by injured Altona Magic goalkeeper Daniel Collinson for a bit of a chat and update on his injury. Enjoy yourself at home wherever you're watching from. We'll be back soon. very cagey first half, wasn't it, Matt Altona?
Yeah, definitely. I think both sides didn't want to open up too much and allow too many chances for each other. But I think in the second half, as this game goes on, it's going to open up more because this game has big implications. There's big 3 points on the line for either side. So I think they're both going to want it in the end.
Yeah, and you might notice some personnel changes tonight with Altona Magic, particularly in the goals, and that is because Shane Vitakangas is in goals tonight for the injured Daniel Collinson, who joins us now. Evening, Daniel. It's a bit chilly up here in the commentary box, isn't it?
It is a bit chilly, Bryce. I think we're about 20 feet up in the air here, but it's a good bird's eye view anyway.
What have you made of the first half from the sideline?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been a cagey first half. I think both teams haven't showed their hand too much. I think we've shaded Knights in the possession percentages, but hopefully we can create some more opportunities and bury a couple in the second half.
Yeah, just in a substitution made at the half-time break with number 4 for Knights coming on, so we'll check that in a second, let you know who that was. But yeah, it has been one of those affairs. I think it's going to take a goal here early in the second half to open the game up a bit, and hopefully for your sake it's the Altona Magic that do get the back of the net.
Yeah, we'll be looking for some individuals to sort of step up and take the game by the scruff of the neck. I think we've got some players that can do that up top. We'll be looking to players like Stambo, Robert Stamboltsev and Daniel Kaczynski to take the game on and yeah, as I said, try and bury 1 or 2 in.
Yeah, your FA Cup game the other night, you didn't play, obviously with your injury. Give us a bit of an update on your injury. What are you actually carrying at the moment?
So I've got an MCL injury on my right knee. Did that against Green Gully. So yeah, hopefully not too long on the sidelines. Just starting rehab at the moment, and hopefully I can come back before the end of the season.
What did you make of the FA Cup clash? Of course, you guys defeated Eltham Redbacks on the AstroTurf at North Eltham Reserve 3-0.
Yeah, it was a good result. It was a tough encounter up there at Eltham. Difficult place to go, and especially midweek, and get the result on the artificial pitch up there. But the boys did well, and it was good to keep a clean sheet as well.
What have you made of the season to date for your boys in red and black, as we see Awad just take it out for a goal kick? How do you think your boys are tracking along at just past the halfway point?
Yeah, I think overall it's been a little bit up and down. We sort of had some consistency there midway through the first half of the season, and unfortunately we had a few injuries, but we've managed to sign a few boys in the window, and looks like we've settled down again, so hopefully we can kick on in the second half of the year. Yeah,
we had Marzia, centre-back, join us at the start of the match and went through a couple of those new signings. One of them who looks quite impressive made the move down from Sydney from Rydermere Lions, Hassan Yella. What have you made of his addition to the squad?
Yeah, he looks really sharp, Bryce. I think his pace up top would be quite handy for us, and he showed on Tuesday night against Eltham that he can finish as well, so scoring the hat-trick up there, so I think he'll be valuable for us.
Yeah, now you were in the sheds at half-time. Did Goran Lozanovsky have too much to say to the troops, how he can sort of change his game a bit?
Yeah, look, I think the message is, to keep controlling possession and basically just to take the chances and once we get that opportunity, we just need to put it away.
All right, well, mate, we'll let you go. It's a bit cold up here in the commentary box, so appreciate you joining us, and good luck with your rehab, and hope to see you back out in the track soon.
No problem. Thanks, Bryce.
See Milanovic on the ball there, and obviously Daniel Collinson has been a big part of the Altona Magic this season, Matt, as we see a chance here. Coruscant just putting out the flames for Hassan Yella there, unfortunately, but Daniel has been a big part of the sticks and keeping some clean sheets, and has shown some good vein of form this year for the Magic.
Yeah, it's obviously never good to lose your starting 11 goalkeeper throughout the season, but I think Shane Vitakangas, he played a lot of football last year, I think, for the Bulleen Lions in NPL 1, so I'm sure he'll do a job in goals whilst Daniel is recuperating from injury, so I think that should go well. Interesting, though, for Melbourne Knights, they did make a change at half-time. It's Calvin Whitney, number 4, coming on. Previously played for Florent Athena in Western Australia, and previously played for Perth Glory's youth team in the NPL Western Australia competition. So a slight change for the Melbourne Knights as they look to really establish themselves and try and pick up some points here in the second half.
Now, it's interesting. I was watching the Melbourne Knights radio live stream on FNR the other night, and they had the club president on, having a chat about what happened with the coach and whatnot, and for whatever reasons they've decided to make a change. But there was a lot of questions coming through on the night about who's going to take over, and he was maintaining that they're in deep discussions with an unnamed person. Have you heard any talks about who could possibly be taking over at Summer Street?
I have heard some potential talks, but I think it's best not to discuss these type of things out in the public whilst clubs are still negotiating. So I think I'll keep that one under wraps. But look, obviously Melbourne Knights, they obviously felt they need to make a change. They may have previously identified someone that they thought they could bring in, and look, they've made the change. I know it was a bit of a controversial one, but in the end of the day, I think clubs, they have to make decisions in the best interest of the club, and obviously Melbourne Knights felt that it was the best decision going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see who does come in for the Melbourne Knights, and whether or not they can maintain this good start that they have had to the year and finish up in the final series.
Yeah, well, if you are watching and you have got someone that you would prefer to be the Melbourne Knights coach, put in the comments of the Facebook Live or YouTube, and we'll visit it, and we'll get, not so much the rumour mill, but we'll get some names out there and float them about and see what the rest of the Facebook audience has to say about it while we're here calling the game between the Melbourne Knights. As we see Awad take it to the byline, has a chance here, looking for Hamish Watson, but Shane Vitakangas ends up with the ball, and if he's quick enough he can release Yalla on this close right hand side, doesn't use that option and keeps it short with Stajewski. Yalla locks in the ball. He's in a battle with Corey Sewell. Has Bosniak on his right-hand side, but Corey Sewell does well just to break that down. They've got a chance to release here. No, we'll go forward with the substitute. But unfortunately just turns the ball over there in the middle. The ball does end up with Stajewski. The Magic happy to keep the ball all the way back to Vitakangas, who goes back to Stajewski where the ball came from. Goes long, looking for Yella. Has shown some electric pace tonight. He's had a couple of chances in the first half, Matt, but due to offsides and a mishit pass, hasn't gotten the score sheet yet. He has hit 4 goals in 2 appearances since coming down from Sydney.
Yeah, it's not a bad return rates for your first 2 games, but yeah, Hassan Yalla looks like a quite lively player in the front line, and he's definitely given Melbourne Knights some trouble throughout this game, so he's one to watch in the second half.
Stajewski on the ball. Plays in Stan Bolziev. He's another player for the Magic that's been back for a couple of weeks and is starting to show some signs of his experience. Of course, they were having a stint with Sydney FC. Was over in Europe as well prior to that, and he's definitely one of the higher profile players in the NPL Victoria. Still waiting to see the best of him though. It's fair to say in 2019 as the ball slipped in from Awad, looking for Hamish Watson, the former Wellington Phoenix striker. Corey Sewell. Pass is intercepted by Bahini. He's just looking for the play down the line to Kaczynski, trying to get in behind Aiden Bryce, but Bryce does well there. Finds Hamish Watson. He'll look for the line, but Troy Ruthven will just be happy to see this out for a goal kick. And does well to keep it strong. And it whacks the ball in. And just apologises there to the Melbourne Knights player for just, you'd call it an accidental elbow, just trying to shield the ball off.
Yeah, it's protecting the ball 101, kids there. Use your arms and you'll see the ball out. So Troy Ruthven sees that ball out. And Vitakangas with a nice little goal kick there, finding the feet of Bahimi.
As we see Corey Sewell on the ball. Plays it into the player coach for the Melbourne Knights at present. And Ruthven looks to slot in yellow. He's got some space if he can meet it. Aiden Bryce up to the task though. And as we've seen moments ago, looking to replicate Troy Ruthven, just can't, and it results in Joey Franich putting it onto the railway tracks here at Paisley Park, and that's probably the second ball that we've lost for the night. Matt Altona.
Oh, we've lost 2 balls tonight. It's not good. I think Altona Magic can get a little bit upset now with all these footballs they keep losing over the railway tracks, but it's going to be a corner here for the Altona Magic nonetheless.
The clubs charge other clubs for losing balls, do you think? Do you reckon there's a bit of a, hey, guys, come on, you've lost our balls here?
No, I think in the return league you just kick 2 of their footballs.
No, that's a fair point. That is a fair point, Matt. I'll give you that one. I'd probably do the same thing. Gaspar whips the ball in, looking for the far post. But Kakarun does well in a Knights goal to break that play up. Looks long for Algano. Can't find him. Milanovic plays in Sam Mitchinson. And Stan Bolziev goes down. Apologies, that's Kaczynski on the far side. He gets the ball again. Retreats forward down to the byline. But the Knights do well to put that one out quick smart. They've got a chance to break here. Looking for Awad, who has got the pace. And Stojevski with a blatant pullback. It'll be interesting to see what referee Chris Hope does here. Not an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, but definitely worthy of a yellow card and a talking to, which is what Chris Hope does go with there. And a professional foul there. And if he didn't make it, Awad was through to goal.
Yeah, knowing Awad's pace, he probably would have been on through on the goal. So a professional foul there by Stojevski, which gets a reaction out of the Knights supporters down here on the camera side of the hill. So although this is a little bit way out, it could be a dangerous area. Muhammad Awad does have a dangerous peg on him to whip this ball in. So some defending to be done here for Altona Magic.
Yeah, they'll have to tighten up the ship at the back here. Just trying to set up on the 18-yard box. Vitakangas shouting at his troops to try and push up higher. Coruscant trying to get them in the uncomfortable zone of dropping deeper. The Magic holding tight. Awad whips the ball in to the near post, but only can find Dusan Bosniak and drags Ruthven out. Will head the ball and finds Awad. The Knights happy to keep it there. And a great ball in to Algano. And Hamish Watts on the left foot. Can't quite find the target. The Knights do keep the ball though. And Dusan Bosniak there. Just tracking back to clear the lines. Gives the Magic a chance to step up. Awad. And Dusan Bosniak does very well to intercept the play. He's got numbers forward. Stambolis from the right-hand side. Instead of playing the ball, looks to go through two players. It's one thing that we've seen with Dusan Bosniak this year. He's taken the wrong option. That was definitely one of them.
Yeah, I thought he was going to release Daniel Kaczynski in on goal there, but on that previous play, Hamish Watson, I thought he was going to bury that with his right foot, but chose to go on the left foot from the cutback from João Albano, and a big opportunity gone wasted there for Melbourne Knights to take the lead in this game.
Ball goes long from Franic. It comes to no avail for the Melbourne Knights. And Milanovic provides the same option going long to no avail as well. Bahimi does well just to force the ball back. Finds a substitute in the middle. Algano. Going one-on-one with Mitchinson. Showing some nice footwork. Just going at your player at pace. It's been quite dangerous on that right-hand side to Algano. It's definitely one of the options that they can continually use, the Melbourne Knights.
Yeah, Albano has been a great signing for the Melbourne Knights, coming across from Western Australia. I think he scored about 15 goals and about 25 odd games for Bayswater City up there. So he's been dangerous for the Melbourne Knights throughout this game. But also interesting on the left-hand side is Caleb Mikulic, who's returned from Austria Wine's second team. I mean, he pretty much lit this competition a lot last season and then had that move over to Austria, but has since returned to the Melbourne Knights. So watch out for him in this second half and for this second half of this campaign.
Do you think it's a matter of homesickness or couldn't quite make the grade?
Look, I mean, I think it was a big surprising move for everybody because it was a high level to go play to, coming off the back of playing in the NPL. But look, I'm sure he's a better player for the experience, and hopefully he's learned from it and maybe he can build on from it. And
Awad does well here to turn Stojevski and plays it to the back post to that man. And it is that man that you speak of, Matt Altona, that puts the Melbourne Knights up 1-0 as he goes and celebrates with the Knights faithful on this near touchline behind the blue pole in the scaffolding tower. And the 1-0 lead goes to the away side, the Melbourne Knights.
Melbourne Knights take the lead. They bury their chances. They took a chance and they've hit the back of the net. Mohamed Awad's cross cut back over the top, and Caleb Mikulic finds the ball and buries it through the legs of Shane Vitakangas to put Melbourne Knights 1-0 up away from home. A great lead to have here at Paisley Park for the Melbourne Knights.
Yeah, no man marking from Bahini and Milanovic, the two new signings, maybe finding their bearings in their first match together as a defensive pairing, but you can't afford a man of that quality of the space, as you just said, coming back from Austria in second division for the remainder of the campaign, and he finds the back of the nets and puts his side up 1-0, which if it stays this way, could put the Knights back in the 4th spot.
Yeah, Bohemian just got caught ball watching, I think, in the end, and that ball got floated over the top, and Caleb buried it in the back of the net, and it's a good opportunity here for Melbourne Knights to take 3 points here and pretty much, like you said, take that 4th place for themselves. And Altona Magic now really have to up the intensity in this game and really try and find a way back in it, because a loss here tonight would be, I think, their 4th loss in about 5 games. So Altona Magic really need to lighten up, and Melbourne Knights can really just try and hold on to this lead and run down the clock.
Yeah, they are one side that you don't want to count out here at home, as we see Franish just looking to clear the lines, giving his side the chance to reset. Don't forget, you can keep your comments coming through, as we do see Hamish Watson take on Stajewski, and Ruthin does well in the middle just to break down that play, and they get the ball up to Stambolziev on his near touch line, and it will end up being a Magic throw-in. Get your comments coming through. A lot of support for the Melbourne Knights tonight, as always, on the stream. And looking a bit lost there, Yellow, as a ball ended up on the head of Joe Franish. As the ball's played down the line here, Stajewski does well, but it will go out for a Melbourne Knights corner. Definitely with the momentum at the moment, the Melbourne Knights, and the chance to get a second one on the score sheet.
Yeah, well, you don't want to, when it rains, it pours, and you don't want to allow that to happen here. You don't want to allow Melbourne Knights to double their lead and pretty much really put a nail in the coffin of this game. But very interesting here. Another substitution. It's the player coach Sitrovic coming on, and it looks like it's going to be number 3 for the Melbourne Knights. Who,
the new signing of Nick Glovin, is that right?
I believe Nicholas Glovin is already signed for the Melbourne Knights. I'm not too sure.
Possibly, yeah.
But nonetheless, it is a substitution, and the player coach is coming off as Altona Magic have a corner here. Interesting, though, if you play crystal ball and you're Altona Magic, what type of decision are you going to make next, and who do you think is going to come off for them?
Well, look, you've got to get back on the score sheet, and they've got some younger boys on the bench tonight. Trajanowski showed some good signs last week at Green Gully, so he could be an option to come on. But I don't think it's a case of the Magic playing bad. It was just a lapse of concentration. They've turned over, as we see Ruthven go forward with some time and space, looking to put Yella, the speedster, into some space. And he does go down. Chris Hope says nothing's doing. So play continues. And Hamish Watson plays the ball, and the assistant referee finally puts his flag up. We can see that from the scaffolding tower here. Right in line, it was definitely offside, but just have to wait until Watson touched the ball. And now it retracts up to Milanovic at the offside position. Ball switch to Stambolziev. Does well to beat Collinson in the air. Has a chance to go one-on-one, but will win his side. It won't be a corner, it will be a goal kick. The Magic substitutes are warming up, so we could see a substitution coming up. Maybe it could be that man, Trajanowski, to come on and inject a bit of youthful pace into the match, or Yasin Nur possibly.
Yeah, I think a player that I like see come on is probably Sammy Noor. Sammy Noor to come on.
Yasin? Sammy's injured at the moment.
Oh, Yasin Noor, yeah. I think it's they've got to make some type of change, I think, in the midfield. I think Dusan Bozniak, he's been out there, but he hasn't really been in the game, and he's turned the ball over a few too many times, I think, and it's probably costing Altona Magic in that final third.
There's still plenty of time left in this match to get back into it. Of course, the first time these sides did meet in round 2 at Knight Stadium, it was an absolute blockbuster with the Melbourne Knights winning 4-3. I don't think we're going to get the same affair tonight after a very cagey first half, but we could see play start to open up a little bit more now than it did in the first half, with the Knights currently leading 1-0 away from home. As Vidakangas plays the ball for a switch. One's Gasparis. One's Kaczynski on the left-hand side. Can go one-on-one, but does slip over. It is a bit of a slippery surface here tonight with the rain during the week here in Melbourne. So could expect that happening on a regular basis. Yalla looking to put some pressure in. Does well to retreat the ball. Whip the ball in. Finds Stambolziev at the back post. One-on-one with Sewell. And the ball will go out for an Altona Magic goal kick. Definitely a chance. Not taking there from the Magic to get back to 1-1.
Yeah, Somboviev, I thought he was just going to bang that with that left foot first time, but he kind of allowed himself to take a touch there, and it just allowed the Melbourne Knights defender to close him down. As Altona Magic do have a corner here and have an opportunity to put themselves back into this game and pull themselves back a goal. As I can't see who it is on the far side. I think it might be Gasparis about to whip this ball in. Ball's whipped in. And it's gone out, and it is going to be a goal kick. Dane Milanovic's header was just wide, and it is going out for a goal kick here for the Melbourne Knights.
Yeah, the pleasing thing if you've got Lozanovsky is that you're down on the scoreboard, but you're still creating plenty of chances, so you can expect something to happen. I think this coming back to 1-0 will really spark up this game and take it to the next level, because it's still pretty cagey. I think the Melbourne Knights looking like they're just happy to hold on to this 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cagey game. Both sides have had plenty of chances. It's quite an open game, to be honest. And Altona Magic have had the chances, but they just haven't had enough quality in the final third to take them. It's going to be a throw-in here for Altona Magic. But this is it's very much still an open game, and anything can still happen. Like you said, a goal for Altona Magic could really turn this game around very quickly.
And we have got 3 other games on at the moment. Heidelberg at 0 apiece at the 58th minute at the Olympic Village with Green Gully. Avondale still up after a 3rd minute goal in the 64th minute at Port Melbourne. And Dandenong Thunder and Kingston in a massive clash in terms of the relegation battle. 28th minute, still 0-0 there, so we'll keep you up to date on the scores as they come to hand. And the score here, Paisley Park, is currently 1-0 to the away side, the Melbourne Knights.
Yeah, so some tight results there. Obviously, the only other goal around the grounds is Avondale's goal against Port Melbourne Sharks as they look to really cement their spot atop of the competition.
Bosniak in the middle. Nothing comes of that win there from the central point from Melbourne Knights. Stajevski. Looking for the line for Yella, does find him, and Kaczynski slots him in, but he's called offside by this assistant referee on the near touchline. Yella not too happy, a close call, but probably the right one, considering it is respect round as well, Matt Altona.
Yeah, we'll give the benefit of the doubt to the official there on the far side, but looked like a tight one, but nonetheless, given respect round, we'll go with it, and it's offside.
Yeah, Chris Hope, one of the best in the business, and no doubt his assistant referees tonight, carrying the flags equally as good in their respected roles in this match. Watson wins out over Bahini. Milanovic puts it up into the night sky, and it comes down, and Ruthven clears it first time, puts it over the halfway, but Franish does well over Yalla. It gives a chance for Awad to go forward. Glavin plays down the line. Ruthven does well to block that out and to keep the ball without having to force it long, and finds Stajevski, who does just get out of the danger zone. The Knights happy to keep it at the back through Aidan Bryce. Looks wide here. And the Knights will have a corner, and as we said moments ago, the game's definitely opening up now, Matt.
Yeah, a bit of an open game, and I think both sides are going to have plenty more chances. I'll ask you a question, though. The role of a player coach, how do you find managing that? Because obviously Citrovic, he's been a well-established player, but he now finds himself in the position of interim coach. So how do you manage that as a player coach, dealing with having to play and having to coach at the same time?
Well, I can feel his pain because I actually do it myself at my club. So it's a tough one. You've sort of got to separate the two roles into one. When it's game day, and you're on the pitch, you're a player, and you have someone on the sideline helping you out usually. But when you're in a coaching position, as he is now coming off as a substitute, you do get to sort of get the best view. And I sort of find personally the coaching aspect sort of takes over, because you've got a role of taking charge of the team, but as a player too, you can't coach from the field. It's impossible, and I don't care if anyone says you can. It's impossible, even for someone of his quality too, in the NPL Victoria. But look, hats off to anyone that can do it. It's a very tough gig, but he seems to be doing quite well. Obviously, being the first man to defeat Avondale this year, as we see Hamish Watson pulled up for a handball by referee Chris Hope. But yeah, that's something you could probably put in his CV as a coach, being the first coach to defeat Avondale.
Yeah, it's not a bad start to beat the top side in NPL Victoria and knock them out of the FFA Cup. I know for sure the Melbourne Knights supporters really enjoyed that win over Avondale, and yeah, I think it's a good start for Sitrovic, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in future weeks with this role.
Some great vision on the Melbourne Knights Facebook page if you get time to check it out after this match of them celebrating that FFA Cup victory over Avondale. And we could say similar scenes at the moment because they are up 1-0 over the Altona Magic, and if it stays this way, there's not too much changing, so you could see them jump into 4th spot if results do go their way. And look, I suppose at the start of the season when they did have a good reign of form, 7 out of 10 wins to start the season, they were in that top 3, and then they had a bit of a run against lesser, I suppose, ranked teams as it stands this year in the league, and that's where the coaching decisions were made to change something in the coaching bench.
Yeah, it's a strange one because Melbourne Knights, they played some tough sides early on and got the results, and then when you thought, okay, they're playing some of the lower sides in the competition, they're probably going to run away with it, they dropped from form as I believe Dane Mihanovic is down here with some sort of head injury, and I believe it was a yellow card, correct me if I'm wrong, to Hamish Watson.
Yeah, it was for a challenge there, and then a bit of a scuffle between Vitakangas trying to get the ball there. They weren't too sure what was going on both of them, but Milanovic is currently down. Doesn't seem to require any attention, though, which will please Goran Lozanovsky. Don't forget, if you are watching through the Facebook live stream or YouTube, you can get your comments coming through. Interact with other fans. You can interact with Matt and myself. Let us know your thoughts of the game, what you think may happen in the latest stages of this clash. Or if you are watching from another club, let us know how your club has gone during the week. As you see, Ruthven on the ball at the back here. Plays it wide to Sajewski. Plays down line, and Dusan Bosniak does go down. This is a very dangerous spot for the Melbourne Knights because with a lot of set-piece takers in the Altona Magic team, this could get them back in contention on the scoreboard if all things go to plan here for the Magic.
Yeah, dangerous area, and that man, Dusan Bosniak, that did get fouled, looks like he's quickly grabbed the ball and said, I'm having this one, because we all know what type of dangerous free kick he has on him. So, big moment here for Altona Magic and Melbourne Knights.
Yeah, you have got Dusan Bosniak, you've got Stan Bowles, and of course Troy Ruthven, all three very capable of putting the ball in the back of the net from a set piece, but it will be that man Dusan Bosniak who whips the ball in to the back post, and Kakarun does get a hand to it and puts it out for an Altona Magic corner on the far side. Nice bit of play there from Dusan Bosniak.
Yeah, good free kick there from Bosniak, forcing to save some Kakarun. There seemed to be a little bit confusion about which side that corner was going to be taken on, but nevertheless it's going to be taken from the left-hand side of the ground here.
Ball's whipped in by Kasparis. Looking for Milanovic at the near post, but Ruthven finds it on the edge of the 18, whips it in with the left foot across, and they call for a penalty, and Troy Ruthven goes straight to Chris Hope and says, what is doing, Chris? And he says, Troy, get away, it is play on. Bahimi. Stajewski plays in Vitakangas with a nice little touch to save his side some defensive pressure. And Troy Ruthven, the Altona Magic skipper, still going at Chris Hope. Sewell on the near touchline. Algano, the Western Australian, plays it into the middle. Finds Hamish Watson, the former Wellington Phoenix striker. Awad. Plays in Sewell, back to Awad. Goes back. Your thoughts on the penalty shout there, Matt?
It definitely took a deflection, as you could see, when the ball got cut back. And look, the Altona players were adamant that was a handball, and the Melbourne Knights players did stop. So interesting decision for no handball there and no penalty. But the game kind of just stopped there for a moment. So that kind of would suggest that there might have been a guilty party involved.
And Corey Sewell with an off-the-ball challenge will earn himself a yellow ticket here. Not even playing the ball. Brings down Stambolziev. And Sewell will earn himself a yellow ticket and going to Chris Hope's book. Looking at that replay, it's hard to see from our angle because we're a bit far away and at a bit of height, but as you did say, the ball did take a deflection, and clearly the Altona Magic players thought it was off the hand of a Knights defender. So, yeah, let us know your thoughts on that if you're watching at home. Let us know what your thoughts are. Fair penalty shout. Chris Hope was right. It's a respect round, remember that. So we're siding with the referee in this occasion, Matt. But, yeah, they're doing a good job tonight, the referees.
Yeah, I'm sure in these type of situations, the extra camera on the far side might do the trick, but unfortunately we do not have that luxury here. It's NPL 1 land, but...
Our camera guy just shook his head, so it's not in the budget just yet. Maybe next season we could get that.
But given its respect round, we're gonna back Chris Hope here and say no penalty.
Yeah, well, I will back Chris in because he backed us in last night at Dandy City, saying that the red card that should have been issued was one, so he backed our call. So we definitely have to back the man in yellow tonight as the ball's played along by Milanovic. And we'll go out, and Yella tries to bring it down on the hook, but just can't quite get it under control, and it goes out for a Knights goal kick. Some chances still coming here for the Magic. If the Knights aren't too careful, they're going to concede here by just sitting back.
Yeah, Knights had a spell after that goal where they created a couple more chances, but like you said, Altona Magic have worked their way back into this game and they are creating some chances. So if Melbourne Knights continue to just allow Altona Magic to create these chances, you'd imagine with the quality that Altona have, they will punish them very soon.
The ball goes out without a touch. That will be a Magic throw-in with Bahini. He's got the chance to go back to Milanovic, and he does take that option. Looking for some movement in front, not too much. He's forced to play it long, looking for Stambolziev. Probably the only option that was available to him at the time. They'll end up with Milanovic again, who will play the ball across to Stajewski. This time the chance to go forward on the opposite flank. Yellow with a bit of pressure, forcing French to play up the line, and Ruthven will go all the way back to Vidakangas, who has got a bit of pressure from Awad, but does well to find Bahini, who can't quite find Stambolziev on this near touch line. Nice look at a slip in here with Algano. He's got Milanovic to beat. Plays it back to Awad. And just turns it over cheaply there, and Stambolziev does want to get it back. Bosniak in the middle, finds Ruthven with a quick touch out to the left-hand side. Sammy Mitchinson has got some space here to come through the middle, and he does so through that central passage. Finds Stambolziev. He's got some room in the middle. Looks for Kaczynski, who looks for Bosniak, but they're not on the same level, unfortunately. It comes to no avail. But the ball does end up back here through Milanovic to Bohini, to the back post, and Yella, but Kakarun comes out and punches it clear, and a great save from the young keeper. It gives a chance to go forward here for the Knights through Hamish Watson. Algano cries from the Knights bench to take him on. He does so, and he whips it in, and Vidakangas, it's got to be better to beat the 6'7" keeper for the Magic, who has been in good form tonight. As we spoke to Daniel Collinson, the injured Magic custodian, out for about 6 to 8 weeks, as he mentioned to us. He's done well stepping up in some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, and Vidakangas, I mean, he's a big guy, so he's definitely able to fill those shoes. And,
what we've been told, size 14 shoes, possibly 15.
They're big shoes. Yeah, so Shane Vidakangas, I mean, he's got experience playing NPL 1 anyway, so you'd hope that he'd be able to come in. But interesting point about this game, Altona Magic, they're really starting to throw some numbers forward now, and that does leave them a little bit vulnerable on that counter-attack, so they do have to be careful about how many they are throwing forward, but they're definitely going for it here.
Bahimi gets high, looking to take on Coruscant, but doesn't pick out Stambolziev, who looks to the heavens and is looking for a miracle in the later stages of this game. The Knights have some open space on this left-hand side if they can get the switch through Hamish Watson, who does well to turn Stajewski, and he's got Awad there, but Ruthven does well to get to the ground and break up the play. Watson regathers. They've got time to whip it in here. And they look to use Awad, but he can't quite get it under control, and it will be a goal kick through Shane Vitakangis. Don't forget, you can keep your comments coming through the Facebook live stream and YouTube. We'll get to the best ones across the night here from Paisley Park. It's a very chilly night tonight. On level par, you reckon, with Dandenong City last night, Matt?
I don't know. I think in the second half of Dandenong City, we really got some chill factor. But it's pretty cold, but it's not too bad. I expected a lot worse this weekend, but the weather's actually held up quite well for the games this weekend.
Well, the good news is we haven't seen any rain here last night and today. Mind you, if you're Bentley Greens or Oakley, you might be seeing a bit of rain tomorrow for your matches from what we've been hearing. So we're no weather presenters by any means, but keep an eye on your weather apps on your iPhones in the next 24 hours. As we see Algano come down this left-hand flank. He's got Milanovic, but doesn't use any option in the middle, because there wasn't really any option in the middle there, Matt.
Yeah, it wasn't really too many options. I think Melbourne Knights have been a little bit cautious about how many numbers they throw here. As Hassan Yella is trying to break away on this right-hand side, but is unable to. But I think Melbourne Knights are very cautious about how many numbers they're throwing forward and just trying to protect this lead here. Yeah,
they do have to be a bit careful here, the Knights, as Matt just said, as Ruthven collects the ball in the middle and scoops it through for Yella, who can try and meet it. Franich does well, but Yella does regather the ball on the right-hand side. And a bit of trickery, gets past Franich, can whip the ball into the penalty spot, and there's a bit of space here for Bosniak. And a great block there from Glavin to prevent the goal with a very solid strike from Bosniak. They've got some time in the middle here with Awad. They've got Algan on the left-hand side if they choose to use him. Looking at Arky's run, a big touch, but doesn't matter because there's no Magic player in front. Algana and Awad happy to play. Keep ball here on the flank. Comes central. Knights happy just to keep it. Looking more like a possession game at the moment than actually going towards goal. Watson a lot deeper. And the Knights with a cheap turnover gives a chance for Sam Mitchelson to go high. But he's taken the ground. Chris Hope, the referee, waves it away. But Sam Mitchelson does stay down holding his face. Might have been just an accidental knock there, but he does seem alright as he does get to his feet questioning the referee. It's actually Daniel Kaczynski. My apologies on that one. He has been on the end of some heavy challenges tonight.
Yeah, Kaczynski's been on the end of some heavy challenges, and do have to mention, I think we're having some trouble with the live stream on the Facebook page, so stick with us or switch over to YouTube if you're having some trouble, and hopefully it will be back up and running very soon.
And we do see Goran Loznovsky preparing a double substitution here for the Magic. Vitakangis just looking for an option. Finds it short in Milanovic. He's got Bohemi streaming forward on this right-hand side in space if he wants to use him, and he does go for that option. And unfortunately just can't quite find the target, but it will give Goran Loznovsky and the Magic a chance to make a substitution, and Gasparis will be replaced by number 13, Davor Trifonov. And there will be another substitution too, with Daniel Kaczynski being replaced by David Trejanowski. Lozanowski's gone to his bench to inject a little bit of youth. Trejanowski has been starting the last few matches with the injuries to Sami Noor and Sam Bolziev. Has shown good signs and has got on the score sheet too, so he'll be hoping to see that again as we see the ball played across. And the Knights happy to spread the ball.
And there was an interesting question on the live stream, and I wonder if anyone from the Melbourne Knights could help us and answer this. Where is Daniel Visovic? I mean, the missing man for Melbourne Knights this season was obviously at Dandenong City last year, signed for the Melbourne Knights in off-season. Sports TG tells me he's only played 3 games, so I'm not sure if anyone from Melbourne Knights might be able to help us out here, but where's Daniel Visovic gone? I mean, he's a big missing player here for Dandenong City.
Yeah, that is a great question. Something I don't have an answer for, so if you are a Melbourne Knights fan, definitely let us know through the Facebook world, and we'll share the information provided as yourself. as the ball's played into Awad. Keeps in at the byline. Does well to do so. And he wins his side a corner. He also might be noticing too their spiritual leader in some terms, Tomislav Uskok. He vacated the club after the FFA Cup victory, signing with Sydney United due to family reasons, moving the family back to Sydney, which is understandable. That happens in life. And Sydney United have got themselves a great player and another great Croatian club in Sydney as well that are doing great things in the NPL New South Wales. So won't be able to see him in the Cup, which they are still in the FFA Cup. Obviously being cup tied to the Melbourne Knights. But we do wish him all the best in his ventures up to New South Wales for the rest of the campaign. Not too long left for the Altona Magic to get back into this game if they do want to try and get another goal or a goal to begin with on the scoreboard. Knights quite happy to sit back here, keep the ball. And Sam Mitchinson plays it long, but not too much happening up top with Stambolziev. Not near the targeted zone as Ruthven plays the ball back to Vidakangas, who will now again go long with pretty much a front line of four for the Magic. Yala looking to lock it in, does well against the bigger opponent in Corey Sewell. Goes towards the flank and does well to get around Corey Sewell. Takes to the line and he's shoved off the ball with a shoulder by Algano. The Knights bench questioning what the go was, but Yella wants nothing to do with it. And he's got his side a free kick here on the right-hand touchline.
Yeah, probably fair to say I think Hassan Yalla's probably been Altona Magic's best player and most lively player this evening, and causing a lot of trouble for Melbourne Knights as Altona Magic have a free kick here.
Ruthven whips the ball back in to the post, and it's a goal kick. And the Magic players are filthy with Chris Hope, saying it was a corner. And I must admit, from our vantage point, Matt, looked like it was a corner.
Yeah, it looked like it did take a deflection, but Chris Hope saw something else and has given a goal kick, and nevertheless, it is a goal kick for the Melbourne Knights.
Definitely the favoured option amongst our Knights fans on the live stream. We'll give the chance to Kakaroon to put the ball up over the halfway line, but only finds ahead of the Altona Magic skipper, Troy Ruthven. And a cheap turnover there from the Knights gives Bahini the chance to put the ball in and also gain a few extra metres too in the process. Dusan Bosniak getting some heavy treatment. And it goes down there. Chris Hope does award the free kick. And the ball is kicked away from the Melbourne Knights players. Chris Hope just waves it away and it sees Ruthven on the ball, looking to whip this free kick in. He does so, looking for the back post. Finds the head of the Melbourne Knights. Gets a chance to go forward, and Ruthven does block the pass and does well to keep it in on this right-hand side. And nice ball into the middle. Sam Mitchinson turns it over too cheaply, and it gives a chance for Knights to go forward and looking for the hit and hope from a good 60 yards out, way behind halfway. I don't know if he was going for the big David Beckham attempt from behind halfway, as we see a ball play down the line to Stambolziev. He'll go one-on-one with Corey Sewell. Whips the ball in with his left foot, and it's free at the back post there, and the ball from Mitchinson comes back in, and Trajanowski keeps it in. He's got Stajewski, use him at the back. Whips in with his right foot, looking for the far post, and Stambolziev puts it in at the back post to make the game 1-0. And he says, boys, get the ball and let's get back to halfway because we've got a game in our hands, Matt Sultana.
Yeah, we've got a grandstand finish coming up, I think, here. Altona Magic, their sense of urgency's paid off. They definitely lift the intensity and became a lot more urgent in these last couple of minutes, and that ball over the top finds Stambolziev at the back post, who slots it in. Kukurun did make a good first save a couple of moments ago, but the second attempt in the end gives Altona Magic the 1-1 back in this game, and a goal to get back into it. Big last couple of minutes now here.
And just looking at Robert Stambolziev in the process, looks like he might have picked up a slight injury. Chris Hope saying, would you like some attention? He said, no, blow the whistle, let's get going. And he's Not too sure what's wrong with him because he did slide in there and he has had some injury issues the last couple of months. As we see Hamish Watson put the ball into Vidakangas' hands. So we'll keep an eye on Stan Bolsiev because he's not moving too freely at the moment. But we see Bohemia on this right-hand side go forward, finding Ruthven, who hits the space, does well and looks for Dusan Bosniak in behind there. Bosniak can't quite meet it, and it goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Stan Bolsiev, I think he just overstretched it there and might have given himself a bit of a tweak, but he is walking a little bit gingerly. Interesting there, great ball by Troy Rofton, but just a lack of effort from Dusan Bosniak to run onto the end of it. But Altona Magic probably trying to use that momentum and this adrenaline dump that they've just picked up now to try and find themselves a winner in this game.
Well, very interested to see how the Melbourne Knights react to this because they have been sitting back trying to hold on to this 1-0 lead away from home, which would have been a great result for the boys in red and white. But now that they've got to chase the game, should hopefully open up a little bit more as we see Hamish Watson go forward. Nothing doing. Stajewski goes down far too easily, and Milanovic does well to block the pass from Hamish Watson, who does put the ball back in, and the ball is cleared from Chajanowski, and Yala looks to go long to Stan Bolsiev. Ball comes back into the middle, and Ruthven will have time and space in the middle here. Puts in Sam Mitchelson, who injects a bit of pace to get forward and is dragged back by the Melbourne Knights and will earn himself a yellow ticket in the process, in a great spot for the Altona Magic to get forward. Goran Losinovsky asking for a double yellow for kicking the ball away as well. I think that's a bit of wishful thinking there from Lotta.
A bit of wishful thinking asking for 2 yellow cards there, but nevertheless, Altona Magic throwing some men forward here and an opportunity for Troy Rofton to put this ball into the mixer and try and pinch a winner here at Paisley Park. But it looks like in the meantime, Melbourne Knights are going to make a substitution. Looks like Caleb Mikulic is coming off for the Melbourne Knights, who just got booked with the yellow card. And it looks like number 25, who I believe is Attila Offley, is coming on. So that is an attacking change there from Melbourne Knights. I would gather they think that they might be able to pinch one on the counter-attack here. Yeah,
and we are in stoppage time now, so not too long left to do so if either side is going to pick one. And with Ruthven on the ball, the Magic faithful will be hoping that this ball can go into a good position to try and snatch a late winner with only minutes remaining in stoppage time here at Paisley Park. The ball's whipped in to the penalty spot, finds a header Franich. The Magic happy to keep it. Yalla goes forward. He's got some space, being urged forward by Ruthven. Has a shot, and Kakaroon finds the ball straight at him. Couldn't quite pick a corner, and he races the ball forward over the halfway line. And Stajewski gets ahead in it, but in favour of Algano. And Trajanowski is forced to come back from his left-wing position to put it out. And the game really at an up-tempo pace now in these dying stages. Both sides looking for the win, and it could come here. Offley looking to whip the ball across, and there's a chance, and Bahini does very well to block that one as Vidakangas had a slip coming out to collect it. And be very thankful for his right back.
Yeah, Shane Vidakangas slipped there, but Kobe Bohemian found himself at the back post to clear it away as Melbourne Knights are pouring on the pressure in his last couple of moments of this game trying to pinch a winner.
Shout out to Andrew and Bella through the live stream. Obviously, a lot of fans watching us past someone's bedtime, so you can get to bed in about 2 minutes once stoppage time. You've got our permission from Bryce and Matt, if that's worth anything. Probably a grain of salt, Matt, but we'll take it. Ball's played long from Stajewski. Looking for Stan Bolsiev. Looks to seem to be all right after a slight knock in the process of scoring that late goal in the 89th minute. But Awad has the ball here on the right-hand side for the Melbourne Knights. Goes forward with some pace. He whips it across, and Hamish Watson finds the late winner for the Melbourne Knights and goes to celebrate in front of the stand, and the Melbourne Knights bench erupts because that was a goal out of nothing, Matt Sultana.
Yeah, a goal out of nothing, and I tell you what, though, there is some chatter going to happen here. It looks like Chris Hope is coming across to his linesman, and he's dished out a yellow card, I believe, to Troy Rofton.
Dane Milanovic has received that.
Yeah, he looks like there seems to be some sort of protest, but the ball was whipped in, and Hamish Watson found himself at the front post unmarked, tapping the ball past Shane Vitakangas. Looks like Melbourne Knights have pinched the winner here, and all 3 points. Altona Magic, for all their good work they did in the last 20 minutes of this game, they would be absolutely kicking themselves. They are going to walk away from Paisley Park with absolutely zilch.
Well, we've got a blockbuster in round 2 at Knights Stadium, and it's worked out that way again at Paisley Park as Chris Hope looks at his watch. Yalla races forward. The Melbourne Knights fans bring their own whistle to the ground and you start to use it. And Yalla's got some space in the middle here. Finds Ruthven, who will have a crack at goal. No, he won't. And that will be full time here at Paisley Park. The final score, Melbourne Knights 2, the Altona Magic 1. And we have had a mini blockbuster, more so in the last 5 minutes plus stoppage time. Matt Sultana, your final thoughts?
Yeah, I thought Altona Magic did very, very well to get themselves back into that game after Melbourne Knights found the lead, and Altona Magic, they did get themselves back into it, but they'll be absolutely kicking themselves because Melbourne Knights at the depth pinched the winner, Hamish Watson. How important has he been for them this season as Melbourne Knights pick up probably the biggest 3 points of the last 4 weeks that they could have possibly picked up to probably cement themselves into 4th place now in the league. It's a huge win for the Melbourne Knights. It's a disappointing result for the Altona Magic, but a grandstand finish in the end nonetheless as we wrap up here at Paisley Park.
Yeah, don't forget there is still 2 other matches, both in stoppage time. 1-1 Heidelberg and Green Gully, 1-1 with Port Melbourne and Avondale, and we have got a 0-0 half-time score with Dandenong Thunder and Kingston City. It's been Matt Sultana, joined by myself, Bryce Ruthven, as we wrap it up here from Paisley Park in Respect Round. Don't forget 2 more games on tomorrow from Kingston Heath and also down at Oakley as well. We hope you enjoy your evening. We'll catch you next weekend.